The Slender Man is among the most impactful horror icons over the last 20 years. Created by Eric Knudsen, aka Victor Surge, on the Something Awful forums in 2009, this tall, faceless, human-like figure made and is continuing to make a mark that won't soon be forgotten. In the early days of YouTube, we saw icons like Markiplier and PewDiePie play Slender the Eight Pages. Before that, we saw the incredible Marble Hornets series created by Troy Wagner. Today, however, we will not be talking about those experiences. We will be diving into the first true full story behind the Slender Man. Today, we will be diving in to Slender the Arrival. Hi friends, my name is Shameplicity, and welcome to the full game on hardcore mode with the full lore explained of Slender the Arrival. Before we dive in, I want to give a few disclaimers. First, this is my 100th video on YouTube. If you enjoy what you watch today, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. I rarely ask this, but on a video such as this one, I couldn't help myself. This is my favorite horror game of all time, and I can't quite tell you what this game and what this character means to me. We're going to be going through every chapter from the start. I will be going through the entirety of the lore, and as a disclaimer, this is my interpretation of the lore behind this game. If you disagree or have a different interpretation, please let me know down below. But without further delay, let's get right into it. Here we go. So often, we are guided by our devotion, our love, our affection. The bond that pulls us down paths not bargained. And when you find yourself alone as he casts out that bedeviling gaze, how far will it carry you? And so we begin. This game was originally released in 2013, specifically on March 26th of that year. To put some things into perspective, this was a year before the release of the very first FNAF game. A lot of people consider the first Five Nights at Freddy's game to be one of the most impactful online horror games of its time, and it is. I'm not denying that. But Slender the Arrival came before FNAF, and in my opinion, this may be a controversial take, but I would argue that the Slender Man, and specifically Slender the Arrival, as well as Slender the Eight Pages, paved the way for franchises like Five Nights at Freddy's to do so well. Blue Isle Studios presents, in collaboration or association with Parsec Productions. When this game came out, first of all, the score is amazing. When this game came out originally, how old was I? I would have been 13 at the time. And I remember Markiplier playing it. And this was a particularly important game to the Slenderverse, if you will. Because there are quite a few video games out there about the Slender Man. A lot of them, actually, if you really dig in. There's a lot of different fan games out there that have been made. And this was the biggest one. This one really solidified the Slender Man into more than just a collectathon where you need to survive in the 8 pages. This game solidified the Slender Man as a character that could truly thrive as an antagonist in a story-driven game. There on the left, you'll see Troy Wagner, Tim Sutton, and Joseph. Missed the last name there. Those are all individuals who worked on the Marble Hornets series. For those who may not know, if you haven't heard of Marble Hornets, please go watch it. It's incredible. It's here on YouTube. Just look up Marble Hornets, and you can watch it from the beginning. we will talk about this car later. It most likely belongs to someone named CR, who we will learn more about later. But Marble Hornets is an online analog horror series made by Troy Wagner, and it features the Operator, who appears to be the same character as the Slender Man, but actually isn't. It is a different entity inspired by the Slender Man. This game is a story that deviates from that, but Troy Wagner and Tim and Joseph, they all assisted in working on this game, which was huge, because Marble Hornets paved the way for so much of what we know about the Slender Man, including the idea of pages. A lot of people think that the first Slender the 8 Pages game is the reason Slender Man is well known for pages or collecting pages, and that is not true. That game, as well as this one, was very inspired directly by Marble Hornets. Now, we won't be diving into all the details of that series. We will continue, but that, I think, is an important note getting into this. So, as you see our shadow here, we are playing Lauren, is our name. We are the protagonist of this game, and we will learn more about why we're here in just a moment. For sale, please contact Kate at 555-7273. And we'll note over here, before we walk up here, there's a missing posters child. A missing child poster. Have you seen this child? Charlie Matheson Jr. We will be seeing Charlie again later, and Charlie is rather important to this story. Please contact 555-3799. Big rip for Charlie in the chat, but we will be learning more about him later. So we are Lauren, and we are here at our friend Kate's house. This is where the story kicks off. In this game, there's lots of things that we can interact with, like the swings. I remember playing on this swing set with Kate when we were kids. So we were childhood friends with Kate. Immediately when we walk up to Kate's home, the garage door is open. We can see through the windows. The front door is open. Obviously, something is amiss. We come in, there's definitely totally normal drawings on the wall. Certainly nothing bad is happening here. But Lauren, obviously, is wanting to know what's going on. Is her friend here? Is she not? And there's some lore to pick up here. Honoring the life of Beth Hayes. October 18th, 2009, 9 a.m., Grace Hill Cemetery, 615 Everson Street, Pastor John Taylor. This is Kate's mom, and we will reference back to her at least once or twice throughout the rest of the game. But she passed away, and we will learn more about that later. Let's see, this was Kate's to-do list. Flashlight, batteries, extra tape, lighter, kerosene, and lock the house. Lord knows what that's for. But we have a message on the phone. More lore.
0 new messages. 1 old message.
Hey Kate, it's CR again. I hope everything's okay. I know there's been a lot to take in and wrap your head around. It'll be good when Lauren gets there to help you sell the house. Take a little load off your mind. Give me a call when you get the chance and we can talk. Take care.
Press 1 to delete. 2 to return to the main menu.
So that is CR. We don't know exactly CR's relationship to ourselves or Kate yet, but that's CR. And we learned that Lauren was coming to Kate's house to help her sell it. Most likely because her mom passed away. There is a achievement that you can get with this piano. If you play it long enough, it'll play a specific tune. This sounds familiar. And we won't dive into all the details behind that, but there you go, a little Easter egg for you, if you didn't know. And what we're looking for at this exact moment, aside from just exploring the house, looking for Kate, is this, the flashlight. Ooh, the Slender Man is already here. The Slender Man will often pull up to the house. Oh, yeah, he's right there, see him? See him? But we don't want to die here. Which, not to worry, we can't. You can't die in this phase of the game, specifically. But let's get some more lore here. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for coming out all this way to help me out. It's been a pretty rough road trying to sell this old place. I wish I had turned to you sooner. You have no idea how happy I'll be once this is all behind me. Love you always, Kate. And this is to us, Lauren. So we were definitely good friends with Lauren, but we can't seem to find her anywhere. We obviously just saw a creepy dark figure. This photo right here features Kate and her mom, Beth. We have Kate on the left and her mom on the right, specifically. We also have our first note here, among many. Hey Kate, it's been a while since we last spoke, hasn't it? Hope you haven't forgot about me. I know writing a letter is a little old-fashioned, but sometimes I like to just sit down and write something out, you know? So, I can't remember what I was doing at the time, but all this stuff we used to do when we were kids just came rushing back to me all of a sudden the other day. Remember when I'd sneak over at night so we could both go out on our own adventures? Ghost hunting, we called it. We'd shine the flashlight through the trees and jump at every little insignificant noise. Our imaginations were always working in overdrive. I wish I could rewind back to then. Seems like everything after that time just hasn't been as good for both of us. How long has it been again? It's been at least a couple of years, hasn't it? She was always kind of mean to me. Maybe she actually knew about us sneaking out all the time. Guess we'll never crossed all that out. Sorry, ignore all of that. I started rambling too much. Anyway, please let me hear from you soon. I know things have been less than normal for you lately, so I just wanted to check in, CR. So this is to Kate. From this note, we learned specifically about an experience where they would go, quote-unquote, ghost hunting in the woods. And we can actually presume, we get more information on this later, but we can presume that this is the first time that Kate and CR both saw or had a run-in with the Slender Man. And things have just gone downhill for both of them since. Right here, maybe she actually knew about us sneaking out all the time. This could be talking about Lauren. It could also be talking about Beth, Kate's mom. And that's who I believe he's talking about here. But CR definitely wants to get into contact with Kate for some specific reason, and he's been thinking about this experience. So with our flashlight in hand, we can now head upstairs. See what else there is to find. We have the master bedroom. Nothing in particular to collect in here, as well as the master bathroom. Where we really want to go is down this hallway. And the door on the end there, that's where we want to go. That's Kate's bedroom. But it's locked, so we need to find a key. And there will be one somewhere in this house. And as you can tell, Kate was, in the process of packing up here. And there we have the key. We can also zoom in our camera with E if you're ever, playing on keyboard and mouse. We have an illustration here. This is a Blue Isles illustration. Blue Isle Studios, the company that made this game. I'm actually not 100% sure if it's for a different game or not. I think it might be, but there you go. We have a guest bedroom here. And then down the hallway, we have the room in question. If Kate were to be anywhere here in the house, it would be here. Unfortunately, as we can tell, that's not the case. Clearly, something was going on with Kate, and maybe CR trying to get in contact with her was a good idea. This right here, this To the Woods, if you click on it, you can't actually read it unless you go to the menu later and look at it in your notes. Typically, when you pick up a note, you can actually look at it, but not the case here. So this is kind of like the first Slender note that we actually pick up, To the Woods. And this gives us a clue as to where Kate would have gone. We also have a note right down... Oh. There's Kate, or at least we presume so. Kate's scream in the distance, where we will be exploring. But first, as I was so rudely interrupted, we have a note down here on the floor. Kate, I want to see you again. I can't stop thinking about you, Kate, about us. Definitely not creepy vibes at all. I'm sorry for what happened in the park. Maybe I shouldn't have said those things. Also, can we just talk about how the fact that Carl Ross's handwriting is actually pretty damn good? I know you may not feel the same way, but I don't want to let you go. Toxic, everyone. Take notes. Not good. I hope someday you'll change your mind. I'll be here waiting for you. Please, just think about it some more. I have so many things I want to show you. So many things I want to share with you. I want to protect you. I hope we can at least still be friends. Yours truly, Carl Ross. And so we get CR's name here. This is the only note in which we actually get his full name. This also gives us kind of some insight on the fact that they had a run-in together in the park. CR said a few things, most likely confessed, and Kate said, hell no. But something was going on with both of them, and it wasn't just him confessing. This obviously is about more than that. This is about their run-in with the Slender Man way back when. And he sent this note to Kate, and we can presume that that was either during or triggered part of, Kate clearly having a meltdown. Escape, can you see it? And you'll see there we've got a tower, which we will be seeing later. But for now, we will be leaving. Now, before we go, there is this hallway down here in the house. We've got a room here along with our second note. Thanks for calling last night, and this is to Kate. It is from CR. It probably sounds dumb, but it was good to hear your voice again. Good to hear that Lauren's been doing really well too. So this would have most certainly been a call back after the first note, if I had to guess. But yeah, about what all we said, I'm not sure what to think of it yet. What are the odds of two people having the exact same hallucination? Could it really just be a coincidence? I have to go to my doctor today for some routine stuff, so I'm going to try and casually bring this up and see what he says about it. I'll let you know how it goes. So, this particular note gives us some insight on the idea. Also, we've got a
Take me out to the ball game.
not creepy thing at all, little bathroom in here. But we'll be leaving. Nothing of note here in the garage. That note denotes, or gives us some insight on the fact that CR and Kate are both having some weird experiences. And CR is clearly reaching out specifically to Kate to try and figure out what the hell is going on, because clearly something is happening to both of them, and they ain't okay with it. But yeah, there we go. You can kind of see our tower all the way over there. But before we go there, we're gonna come up here for another note. Oh heavens, if I can get up the stairs. Number 3. Hey Kate, both my computer and phone have been acting weird lately, so I figured I'd do it the old-fashioned way again. Glad we can meet up to talk things through. I agree with what the doctor said, too. There's an explanation for this stuff. The shared traumatic event sounds the most logical to me. That night out there in the woods is probably what caused it, as we were talking about earlier. I had almost completely blocked that out, but now it's kind of coming back to me. But like I said before, it's still really foggy. I think the best course of action right now is to just ignore it whenever you think you might be seeing things again. I'll try to do the same. That'll probably do the trick. CR. P.S. You should call Lauren sometime. I bet some company would help out. And this is what led to Kate calling us, asking to help her move. So after Kate got this note from CR, and clearly ignoring things when they see them clearly didn't work, because something happened here in the house, right? And we will learn more about that later. But we got a call from Kate, and that is why we are here. Ooh, that was fun. I should probably find Kate. Indeed it was. By Kate's house, on to exploring we go to find Kate into the wide somewhere. Now, as we continue into this area of the game, every once in a while, if you choose to pay attention to the horizon, if you will, you know, the edge, the ridge line, occasionally, oh, he was up there, I just missed him. Maybe you will have seen him. He'll be standing up there on the ridge, and I just missed him. But that little static moment meant that he was up there. And he'll respawn, so we'll probably see him again before we finish this area. But yeah, we're just following the path, seeing what's going on, and we have some more lore over here. Fatal blaze erupts at Oakside home. Arson suspected. We're going to read this. Oakside fire crews say a blaze at the southeast home at a southeast home, resulting in one death, may be the result of arson. We will be learning about who died, and we will be seeing this home in just a minute. Fire broke out at the home, located just east of Oakside Lake at 11:30 p.m. Neighbors who knew the man living in the home, currently the only known fatality, as agitated and abrasive. He lost his son many years ago. His son, who I'll just confirm now, is Charlie Matheson, who we saw a missing poster for at the beginning of the game. Since then, he's never really acted the same. He would always claim to see his son standing outside his window, staring in, said Kim Rolick, a neighbor who has known the man for 20 years. Authorities say Charles Matheson, so his son Charlie, named after his dad, 47, died of smoke inhalation. His body was found inside the basement of the home shortly after the fire crew put out the blaze. So very unfortunate end for Charles Matheson, but don't you worry, with the 10-year anniversary update, there was a new chapter, and that one is specifically centered around Charles Matheson, so we will be seeing a whole lot more of him not too long from now. There's Kate's house over there, just above the mountain here. Here's another generator to interact with as we continue on our way. And there you see him. There's our little Slender boy, looking particularly tall. And yeah, if we give him a little flash. Just kidding. Moving on. Oh, he's nice and close. Ooh, we get a good visual here. And there he goes. Didn't like a close-up, I guess, huh? And here we come up on the Matheson home. Music picks up. Definitely nothing bad gonna happen, don't you worry. So let's head on inside. And as we can see from the report, this place is crispy. Definitely didn't have a good experience. Out here in the back, we'll find a note on the floor. Charlie. And we see here, there is a church, a barn, and a few other things. And we will be checking out this specific location later. This is a reference for a future chapter in the game, with a lot of very important lore. In fact, here it is. Sitting here, in the house. This is a painting that the Mathesons had from their ancestors. And again, we'll be seeing more of this later. Okay, would you look at this? In his crusty glory, we've got Charlie, everybody. Jump scare. Yeah, he didn't appreciate that. No, he did not. And so that starts, that gets us thinking, especially because Charles Matheson was talking about seeing his son as a hallucination. So that gets us thinking, are we now hallucinating? Seeing Charles Matheson's son in his burnt house. Here's another note. We will read that. What's wrong with this place? Why did this happen to us? No answers anywhere I look. Am I crazy? These things I see at night, I don't know what to think. Ever since Charlie disappeared and Diane left, so this is Charles writing. Charlie, his son, Diane, his wife. I must have hit a breaking point. I still keep looking. I still hear him sometimes, that cute little laugh. But he's been gone 9 years. Why does every day have to hurt so much? Charles. Reasonable crash out, to be honest. My flashlight is dead. That is unfortunate for us. But not to worry, we continue on. And we turn on the generators. Here we have a construction site. And if I'm not mistaken, we've got just one note to pick up here. Another newspaper. Residential development takes hold on Oakside Park outskirts. Oakside is about to welcome some new residents. With All lots now purchased home developments are set to begin this spring. 6 new homes are expected to go up over the next year, with more to follow. The new homeowners will be the first new residents of the new area since a fatal blaze 4 years ago. So, we now get some time framing, right? This happened at least 4 years ago, if not more. That resulted in the death of one man. We couldn't be happier to bring new life to the community, said Robert Belvedere. I'm probably saying that wrong, but it's okay. Chairman of the Oakside Village Community Development Group. We're pleased to welcome all the new families who want to call Oakside home. So there you have it. Oh, bro's close by, that's for sure. So part of why, one thing I want to point out right here and now, part of why my flashlight is dead is because we are on hardcore mode. This is not regular mode. And in hardcore mode, your flashlight can die. And mine has died. Which does make things more difficult, but definitely not impossible. So as we continue looking for Kate, here we make it to Oakside Park, one of the most iconic park locations in the game. I am a little sad that I wasted my flashlight juice. Luckily, there's not really anything to pick up in here. But this is where we will be going. And unfortunately, because our flashlight is dead, we could not see what's on the wall. But here we have a note. Definitely bodes well for us. And title card. We'd love to see it. Every once in a while in this game, you'll get little tidbits here. But you'll also learn about all of these things throughout the game as we play. And here's Lauren. This is really some of the only official art of Lauren that we have. But our flashlight does come back on. So every time we reach, so find me, Lauren, every time we reach a save point, our flashlight will be recharged. And so playing this on hardcore mode, you want to be very intentionally conservative with your flashlight if you can. Also in this game, not just hardcore mode, but in this game, after coming out of that chapter and coming into this new one, there are a couple different potential spawn locations. This is one of them, where we're here. Another one is where we are on top of a hill, and so this is one of them. If you see all the way over there, that building, we will never be able to go over there while playing this game. And many players have always wondered what it is, and Blue Owl Studios on their Instagram and their socials posted a picture of this. There is a fun, you can find it on their socials, there's a fun little Easter egg where there are just cats, pictures of cats lining the inside of that building. Fun little Easter egg for you. And they have also teased, now this is debatable whether or not they've actually teased this, but they have teased that that building or that area in general could be part of a future DLC chapter, because there are still DLC chapters to come. We don't know when. Supposedly they were going to be all released in 2024. That did not happen, so we are still waiting for them. But there you have it. Oakside Park has 3 canoes available for rental. What a great sound. Love that for us. So that little moment is Lauren, you know, something's going on with Lauren, right? Like Lauren, something's happening. Oakside Park offers many recreational ventures. And so here's just the different things that Oakside Park offers. Zorbing is one of them. I'm going to be so real. I actually still have not looked up what zorbing is. If any of you know what it is, let me know in the comments, because I have no idea. And here we have canoeing rules. There you have it. I'm not going to read it. Do not interact with any all marine life, except for the last one. I'm going to read that one because I can. So, what we were coming up on is a really clever nod to, you know, the first big Slender Man game that really kind of propelled the Slender Man beyond Marble Hornets and beyond the Something Awful forms. And that is collecting the 8 pages. Which is what Lauren will be doing in this section of the game. Now, one thing I want to make clear. This section can be rather confusing, and while I don't have this section 100% memorized, there is a map, and we can use that map to kind of lay out the direction that we want to go, which is really, really helpful. So we're going to go ahead and grab this one, because even on hardcore, we can grab one and feel generally okay, so long as we're not, you know, not moving, lollygagging. But generally speaking, and this is true of the original 8 pages, you can almost always just follow the paths, follow a path you haven't followed before. Oh, there he was. And you will find what you're looking for. So because we're on hardcore, bro is already active. The page, if there is a page in this building, it's always on the inside, it's never on the outside. And there are a couple potential spawn locations for it. Okay, just making sure I didn't just miss it. Sometimes it's here in the bathroom. Yep, there it is. Really easy to miss. So you always kind of want to be careful of that. I've seen people play this game, and that was the last page they were missing, and it really tripped them up. So this is where we came up, so we're going to come this way this time. We're not going to take this path. What we're going to do is we're going to start on the perimeter. That's kind of the play. We're going to stick to the paths along the perimeter specifically, and once we've made a full loop, then we can explore throughout the middle and find anything that we were missing in the middle. Hey, bro's over there. Looks like there's nothing on this, which is fine. Bro is right there to my right, if y'all saw him. So once again, we're not going to go to the left, we're going to stick to the right. And these things can spawn in different locations. As you can see, we've got the map right here. And so this doesn't tell us exactly where we're not going to read all of that, but there's information if you want it. This doesn't, so on non-hardcore, it'll actually tell you where the map is here. This does not tell us, but we can kind of gauge. We are most likely up here, because we've taken the pathway up this way. We're kind of up in this direction. But for right now, we are going to go, oh gosh. There you have it. And even at 3 pages, you have to be really vigilant. I was being way too nonchalant. That's a great example of what not to do. Okay, as you can see here, we spawned again. This is a different spawn point, as you can immediately see. This is what I was talking about before. So we can come up here, get the same notes that we did before. Yeah. Getting accosted by these voices. Go ahead and turn these back on. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to find the closest path and start following it. Once again, along the perimeter. So this is our first location. And we have a page. We came from up there. We are going to follow the path this way. We're going to go to the left, because why not? In hardcore mode, again, I let things get the better of me. Generally speaking, you want to run. You don't want to walk too much. Because the more you walk, the easier it is for bro to get you. Now, in this particular facility, it's usually somewhere on the inside. Stick into one of these crates. But that doesn't mean it can't be on the outside. It just usually is on the inside, if there is one. Also, a lot of people think the Slender Man does not move. I wonder if you can kind of see him there. Especially when you're looking at him in this game, he does move. He actually moves towards you, which is part of why, even if he's behind you, you can still get got. Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't think we've got a page in there, so we're gonna move on. Okay, he moved. That's good for us. Never mind, he didn't. I thought he did. We'll come back to this if there's a page. But for now, we'll stick along the perimeter. We've got a page. There will never be a page down there, by the way. Does not exist. There's not a page down that way, so don't ever worry about it. Okay, we're gonna run around him. We're gonna take it and then immediately go to the left. We're gonna run. He's often more aggressive right when he spawns. Or right when we get a page, excuse me. Oh, he's right there. Got a little close there, but that's okay. Run. 2 pages left. Reach. Oh! Down. Yeah, running into him even once on hardcore like that? No bueno. There we go. Continue along the outside. Number 4. Actually, take it back. Let's go over here first. Started. There we go. Oh, this should be the last one. There should be one here on this map. If there's not, we're boned. Yep, that's the last one. Thank the Lord. Okay, we did it. Sorry, I wasn't talking much during this one, because I kind of had to lock in. But finding all the pages, having some type of illusions as she's running, and then she passes out after she collects all 8 in her effort to find Kate. And here we are, waking up in wherever the hell this is. Just kidding, we're still in the general vicinity. We didn't go too far, and we are still Lauren, but we can presume that one of the reasons Lauren was looking for those pages is because she found that first page on Lauren's desk, right? Or on Kate's desk, excuse me. And that said to the woods, it was a page. So she's collecting pages that Kate has made in particular, trying to find her friend. It's kind of the vibe. But here we are, slept through the night. We are still alive. And there is a note here. Number 5. I mentioned it to my doctor again when I saw him today. He really wants you to come in sometime just to talk with him. I think it's a good idea. He also said that confronting this traumatic event in some way could be very beneficial too. Don't worry, I didn't tell him any specifics about what happened. I do think we should go back out to that park behind your mom's house sometime soon. So that's our Oakside Park where we were just now. I think being out there and seeing nothing will help get rid of these stupid problems we've both been having. So this is the park that they have met in at least twice now, if not more, Kate and CR. So, you may have thought that I forgot about Note 4. Do not worry. At the beginning of the level, if you kind of explore around, you'll find this little house. Not the one we just got Note 5 on, but a smaller one. If you just continue farther back, you'll eventually find this here. This little hole in the wall, hole in the rock wall. Come in through here, and you'll find Note 4. Yeah, it hasn't been working out for me either, and once again, this is CR to Kate. It's one thing to ignore something you know is just a hallucination. It's something else entirely to ignore all the noises I hear outside my window at night now, because I can't see whatever it is that's making them. Anything like that happening around there with you, it sometimes sounds like whispers. Your friend CR. So CR is being pretty direct here with what he's talking about. Like, in terms of what he's experiencing, and it's clearly unnerving. And so, we begin the next chapter of this game. We dive into the Coleman Mines, as you can see. The Coleman Mines, and we'll learn a little bit about this as we go in, but the Coleman Mines are responsible primarily for why anyone lived here in the first place. This is where pretty much everyone worked, for the most part. Attention all employees, after the closing this Sunday, your paychecks will be mailed to your home address that we have on file for you. Please see Jessica in the office if you have changed your address recently, otherwise you will not be able to receive your final paycheck. We would like to thank all of you for your many years of dedicated service to Coleman Mining, and wish you the best of luck in all of your future endeavors, management. So everyone was laid off. Everyone was let go. Big rip. Once again, CR to Kate. I tried to find my way back to you when I tripped and fell down that slope, but my flashlight hit one of the rocks down there and broke. It was pitch black. I heard sounds all around me, screaming. It sounded like you. I tried to follow it back, but I was lost. I fell. Everything collapsed down around me. I could feel it crushing me. Everything was moving so fast. I was drowning in water I couldn't see. Every fear I've ever had came back to me at once. Monsters surrounded me. My stomach inverted. My eyes shriveled out of existence, and my heart caved in. I don't know what happened after that. I woke up in some tall grass today and found my way back to the house. I looked through the window and saw you sitting on the couch, staring at your TV. I couldn't get your attention, so I left. I can't write anymore. I can't think straight. I need to. So, obviously, we know that something happened to Kate, just by nature of being in her room. Now we're seeing evidence that some crap is going down with CR. He's hearing whispers. They were together in the park, it sounds like, and then they got separated, and he had some type of, psychedelic, traumatic experience, it sounds like, which we don't love to see. Here we have another missing poster for Charlie. Here we go, descending into the abyss. There's nothing to collect at first here, but this is where we're going to get more information. First hearing some whispers, don't worry about it. Brother. Warning, Coleman Mining, in the event of sudden power loss, all employees must be removed from the mines via emergency lifts as soon as possible. To power the lifts, please activate the emergency generators throughout the ground level of the complex. 6 generators are the minimum required to power the lift at full capacity. Please see your supervisor if you need help locating them. And this is what we're about to be doing. Lord, not that scaring me even though I've played this game so many times. And don't worry, we'll learn who closed that. But here's number 7. I am okay, Kate. The woods are beautiful. Please come see. I am going to find you so you can see it is so beautiful, Kate. So yeah, CR is definitely not okay. Totally fine. Local park sells land to Coleman Mining Co. Oakside Park has come to an agreement with Coleman Mining Company regarding its acquisition of mineral rights for one of the state-owned park's mountains. President of Coleman Mining, James Walter, said he's glad the deal has gone through and that he couldn't be happier for the opportunities this new location will provide the company and the community. Oakside Park first entered negotiations with Coleman Mining, blah, 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 blah. And we can't read any more than that. There's literally nothing down there, so don't worry about going down there. Also, this door is going to close on us as well. There you go. We've got some fancy little arrows. We're, still in hot pursuit of our friend Kate. And we're going to run into a little someone here, get to the tower. So, we read, this is, to get to the tower, this is the end game, I'm just going to say right now, is getting to the tower. That is where Kate is trying to go. Kate and or CR, we'll learn more about that later. And as the arrows point, this emergency lift that we just read about is how to get there, but the only way to do so is to power up these generators. Now, if you've played the game normally, you can just go up to these and interact with them. But in hardcore, you must first pick up a gas canister, which is this here. Before I tap on this, I'm gonna just quick disclaimer. I have beat this game hardcore once, maybe twice before now, and this is one of the hardest parts for me, only because finding the generators isn't the problem, and I know where most of them are. The oil cans, I struggle to find, and I do not have those locations memorized. So I'll just kind of chop this up for you guys, make sure to include any good moments. But this is kind of just a big labyrinth, and you need to find the oil cans. And generally, the strategy is to actually find the oil cans first before getting any additional generators. Now, unfortunately, all of the other doors are closed until we turn this one on, but we can get all the oil cans before we can, get to the rest of the generators. So we just need to find 5 oil cans after this. Gas canister, but we're not going to hit that. We will come back to it later. On hardcore mode, it is just so much easier to do this if you get all the gas canisters first. And it's nice to kind of just do floor by floor so you don't get too lost. So we're not going to go upstairs. We're going to stick down here and thoroughly search every room before we go upstairs. This will also help us remember where the generators are. No, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, we have 3 or 4 gas canisters now. There's another one. And our girl is awake. Active. You ho. I'm not sure how many more we need, to be honest with you. Oh, okay, this is where we were before, I believe. No, we have not been in here. Damn, got too close. If you get too close, even if this proxy is specifically what this is, even if the proxy is... Girl! Even if they're not on you... Not gonna lie, that's never happened to me in hardcore mode before. That was a little strange. She was, like, gliding on the ground. But we're gonna try that again. Hey, my second go round, I'm actually not gonna get the gas canisters. I'm just gonna go for it. Slender's here already. Damn. Bam. Oh my gosh, I think we made it. When I tell you, I died like 5 times. Doing this on hardcore is so difficult, y'all. But we did it. But we escaped our elusive... I should be able to keep going as long as I'm not being too loud, to be honest with you. There was a bug in the game, right there where you could fall between the crack. It happened to Markiplier in the first version of the game when it released. It was hilarious. But yeah, in the mines, we get chased by both one of Slender Man's proxies as well as Slender Man himself. Also, I cannot move. Having escaped the Coleman mines, we just had a little bit of a bug. Had to restart the game, but we're good. So we are escaping the Coleman mines into the rest of the game. There's not a ton left. I mean, there actually are still a good few chapters left, but none of them will take me quite as long as that did. I will have cut most of that out of YouTube. That was particularly strenuous and difficult on hardcore mode, but we made it out, and here we are on the other side. Anyway, so we ran into a proxy in the mines, and I felt like I was going to keep it a secret. I don't really give a damn. The proxy's name is Kate. That is Kate, so the more you know. Kate was there in the mines. That is Kate the Chaser, as she is called. Here's note number 9. North Cross Hospital. Kate, leaving this note in case you wake up tonight. I'm going to assume you don't remember what happened. I came over to check on you and found you out in that park behind the house. You had a broken video camera with you and a bag full of weird drawings. Those are the drawings that we found earlier in the game. I don't know what happened out there, but you're safe now. The doctors here will help you. And lest I forget, note 8, back in here, I walked right past it, that's my bad. I've tried to call you dozens of times. Where are you? Please call me back and let me know you're okay. If I don't hear back in an hour, I'm coming over there. Which is what he does in part 9, where he finds her in the park, where CR finds Kate. As we descend this mountain away from the Coleman mines, we see this beautiful view But don't get used to it, because we are fast approaching the next chapter, one which is not nearly as beautiful, unfortunately for us. Oh yes, arguably one of the saddest chapters in this game, but here we go. A little teddy bear with the name Charlie on it. This is entirely skippable, by the way, and I've seen quite a few people play this game and walk right past this without even realizing it's there. Just as you're coming along this path, it's right here on the right. You want to make sure you don't miss it. This will give us some very important lore about Charlie, Carl's son who went missing. We endure all the whispers. In fact, it's going to give us the exact lore, because now we're playing as Charlie. Look at that sandcastle, by the way. Very impressive.
Charlie, lunch inside.
And so here, we have Charles and Diane. Charles on the right, Diane on the left, I believe. Or no, other way around, sorry. Diane on the right, Charles on the left. But because we are children, we are easily distracted. And there are shiny things down the beach, so we will follow them, unfortunately. And would you looky here, it's parts to a train. I wonder who could have laid these.
Don't get too dirty out there, Charlie.
You shouldn't worry about...
Near the water.
Girl, the water and getting dirty is not what you should be worried about. But this is kind of... This moment right here is kind of the hinge point for the Matheson family, honestly. Or at least this specific Matheson family, I should clarify. We will learn about more Mathesons pretty soon here. But Charlie and his father in particular, this is the beginning of a very horrific nightmare for the two of them. We've been called, but we cannot return. Like, literally, you can't make it back over those. And there's nowhere else to go. Can't go in the water. And so this is the only way. Bro, as a parent, I'm here to tell you, I would have absolutely lost my mind.
Charlie!
Like, very legitimately.
Charlie! Where are you, Charlie?
We definitely weren't lured in here, except for the part that we were.
Charlie!
The infamous booms. Bro, as a child, bro, I would have crashed out.
Charlie!
Bro, absolutely horrifying. Voice actors went off, by the way.
Where are you, Charlie? Help!
Charlie!
And look at those. The black goo coming to get us. People will often miss those as well. Somehow. I get grabbed from behind, they don't even notice, but yeah. Slender got us with a long-range tentacle attack, it would seem. And that was the end of Charlie. But yeah, that was kind of the hinge point for this Matheson family. Kind of just leading... Yeah. And so I guess we just, we got to see all of that as Lauren. A big ol' rip. And so we don't love to see it. We've seen Charlie already once. And now this is very important because this is also skippable. If you go to the left here, this continues through the main story, but we want to go to the right. The right is going to take us to both the next note as well as the extended chapter that was released with the new updated 10th anniversary version of this game. So it's important. This was up here before, but we couldn't do anything with it. So here's note number 10. Glad you're feeling better, but that house is too close to the woods. It's too isolated. You need to go somewhere else. I know a place that I think will be safer for you to stay. I'm going to go with you because my house doesn't feel safe anymore. I nailed all the windows shut, but I still feel too open. I haven't slept in a few weeks either. I'm so tired. Let's get out of here, Kate. I promise I'll keep you safe. So, we saw that note in the mines. I believe it was note 7. Maybe it was note 6. I think it was 7, though. From CR to Kate, and it was definitely like he was out of his mind. You know what I mean? He wasn't doing very well. And so this note, a good while later, Bro is getting stalked by the Slender Man. He knows Kate is as well. They've been communicating, and he doesn't feel safe, and he wants to protect Kate. But, looking at that past note in this one, because he seems a bit more mentally sound here, we can presume that he's kind of just like in Marble Hornets. It's kind of, they go in and out of being conscious and being self-aware. Restricted area, no trespassing, government evidence installation. It is unlawful to enter this building without authorization. This area is under surveillance. Do not damage or confiscate property. But we're going to go in here because this is the absolutely brilliant new chapter in the game. This is Charles Matheson's stuff on the table here. And we will now be playing as Charles Matheson in this new chapter. Charlie's father. There you can see the whole family there. And do you recall that note in the newspaper where neighbors were saying after he died that he kept seeing his son outside his window? Well, there you have it. Also, hopefully that got one or two of you. We can presume that he was in his house. That was kind of the last straw, the very end almost the very end for Charles Matheson. Slender Man pulling up and, messing with his mind. Out. And I'm just going to tell you right now, we've got a note here to get a little bit of lore. Patient intake form. Name, something. Date of birth, whatever. Gender, male. Address, doesn't matter. Phone number, whatever. Emergency contact. Relationship to patient. Emergency contact phone number. Mental health assessment. Patient presents with distressing symptoms including paranoia, recurring nightmares, hallucinations, and unexplained memory gaps. Symptoms progressively worsened. Family has a prior history of mental health conditions, severity unknown. So this is, I'm just going to tell you right now, this is, I believe, Charles Matheson's form, though I've always been a little confused because there's an S here. So I've tried to do some research. If anyone thinks this is someone else, let me know. But I was pretty sure this was ours. But yeah, there you have it. Must get out. But yeah, this was a brand new chapter in the game. We got train pieces. Definitely, things are out of place, clearly. Getting us to think that, there's bodies on the floor. Getting us to think how much of this is real and how much of this is reality, and how much of this is either in Charles' head, rude, in Charles' head, or even just an entire reality created by the Slender Man who has thrust Charles into. And I actually really like the idea of the latter. This being a real place, a real hospital, but that Slender Man has taken and distorted horrifically, and thrust Charles' mind into. But here we have the Daily News. 3 children disappear from local towns. Serial killer suspected. Serial killer is definitely one term to describe this being. In a chilling turn of events, 3 children aged between 8 and 10 have mysteriously vanished from the peaceful community of Willowbrook. So this is a different area, as we can tell. Unsettling evidence points to an abduction, and authorities fear the presence of a serial killer in the area. Local law enforcement is actively investigating the case and urges residents to remain vigilant while they work to bring the missing children home safely. So once again, some more lore. We're learning that this is a full community thing going on here. It's not just the Mathesons. We've got multiple people affected. I will say, you're welcome to come in and explore these bathrooms. There's nothing to get in them. but I'll show you for the sake of 100%ing this in this video. Got more trains. Yep, hit out reality. Yep. Also, the soundtrack in this goes hard. The score. And here we are. This is Dr. James Anderson's office. Going to learn a little bit more about what's going on here. Patient redacted, status unknown, toxicology notes. An unidentified fibrous black substance, which we saw just a minute ago, has been found in the patient's blood. We will need to send several samples of it to an external lab for detailed analysis. Now, this note, not to go back on what I already said, but given the information that we had and everything on the walls, you know, this is definitely in Charles Matheson's head. But we start to wonder, like, is this in Charles' past? Like, you know, was he a patient at this hospital? Ooh, so rude. Definitely grape juice. Don't worry about that. Definitely not a body in a bag. Anyway, here we are, and we can come up to reception. Nothing to grab here, but we see a tree down there that looks awfully similar to a tree in the original 8 Pages game, in which you could find a note. But we continue onward into the operating room C, where we find a small teddy bear. But we're going to read this first, because there's a note as well. All employees, we are investigating reports of suspicious activity in the basement. Don't worry, we definitely won't go there, except we will. Rest assured, we consider the safety and well-being of our staff and our patients of utmost importance. Please refrain from entering the basement unless absolutely necessary. Regards, Emily Thompson, Hospital Administrator. Yep, love that for us. And as you can see here, we've got some x-rays, and this gives us, you know, some insight on what we were talking about. We're seeing some black on there. Now, it's kind of hard to tell if there's just dirt on the screen here, or if there's actual black stuff showing up in the x-ray. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's what we presume from that. And thus we descend as we hear crying in the distance. Definitely nothing will go wrong. Brilliant, by the way, visual effects. Also, this definitely isn't a bad idea. Hello? See, it's all in our head. Don't even worry. You know, that's part of what makes the Slender Man such a terrifying foe, is that he manifests and taunts his victims and really brings out their trauma and their biggest fears. You know, as we've seen both there in Charles seeing Charlie, as well as some of the notes that CR sends Kate, where he, you know, when they were in the park and they got separated and he was like, all my fears hit me at once. This is something that the Slender Man does to his victims. I love this note, by the way, arguably my favorite note of the game. Anyway, Brian, please stop fretting about the nonsense the conspiracy theorists have been spewing around here lately. It's probably just the minimum wage riffraff pulling pranks for attention because their brains are smoother than an ice rink flooded with petroleum jelly. Besides, we're safe way up here, and we actually went to college. Karen. And of course, it was a Karen that wrote this, which I love so much. But part of why I love this note is because, A, it definitely could be real. You know, this could all be memories of Charles, you know, people that he worked with or something along those lines. But, you know, if aspects of it are not, I love the idea that that's a note that the Slender Man made. I think that's so funny. And we get a flashlight. There is 2 bathrooms back here if you wanted to check them out. There's nothing really to glean from them, but if for whatever reason the flashlight makes it a lot easier, because without the flashlight you can't really see anything. We could get ourselves some coffee. Just kidding, let's move on. First, let's go into Emily Thompson's office, the office administrator. Boop. Oh. Yeah, that was rude. Anyway. And there's nothing actually to glean from in here, or to collect. Just a little jump scare, so we love that for ourselves. And we continue on. So, it's interesting because in this game, there's not too many characters to actually... Oh, look at that. There's our exit. Definitely telling. Definitely nothing wrong will happen. There's quite a few characters in this game, and we actually end up playing as almost all of them. And we'll kind of do a recap later, kind of describing... By the way, oh yeah, blood leaking from the ceiling. There's nothing, you can't go up and you can't go down here either. That's just an FYI. Even if you try, they are locked. This is the only way to go as of right now. And we come into acute inpatient psychiatric unit. Lovely. Love that for us, huh? Very cute. Door opens on its own. Always a good sign. Door closes on us. Door closes on us. Oh my lord. I actually forgot about that. Seeing Charlie bending down there. And then we got his let's close that. His bear and basketball. Slender Man using all of the motifs, the items. Also, notice how it's blocked, not locked. Definitely not unsettling. For some reason, we got a red light with a body, blood, and the Slender Man. Trust me, nothing bad happened in here. And trust me, we definitely won't have to come back here later. People will often miss this note as well. This is, more insights from Dr. Anderson. April 4th, I've begun my trials on a new experimental drug designed to treat severe cases of depression and anxiety. It is a groundbreaking treatment, but there have been rumors of unsettling side effects. Some patients have reported seeing a tall, faceless figure in the shadows. They refer to it only as him or he. As a scientist, I must remain objective and focused on the potential benefits of this treatment. Nonetheless, I admit that I am intrigued by these strange occurrences. Dr. James Anderson. So this note is an interesting one because it's one of the only notes, and it's the first note up until this point that we get something as direct as tall, faceless figure in the shadows, just describing the Slender Man in the game, which I think is really, really cool. Every other note up until now doesn't really describe what it is they are or are not experiencing. Hopefully that got one or two of you. That's one of my favorite jump scares in the game. But anyway. See, what did I say? We weren't going to have to come back here. Everything's fine. Oh. There's a handprint. Did you see that? Rip Charlie, bro. See, everything's fine. Told you. Nothing to worry about. Anyway, moving on. Like, that moment is traumatic because it makes you think, like, oh, is that Charlie's body? Just gets you thinking. And then here we are in a little classroom. Because gotta have a classroom in a hospital. Makes so much sense. Not unsettling at all. But we've got a note up here. Team, it is with heavy hearts that we inform you of the tragic loss of one of our esteemed colleagues, Dr. James Anderson. The last note definitely didn't give us any hints that this might happen. We mourn his passing and kindly request that rumors regarding the circumstances of his death not be discussed out of respect for Dr. Anderson's memory and his family during this difficult time. Regards, Emily Thompson, Hospital Administrator. So, we're kind of, getting info about these other people in Charles Matheson's life, or in this world that has been created by the Slender Man. And seminar room and teaching lab. And something that I think is really cool is that, the Slenderverse, if you will, it's all connected. Now, we can't necessarily rightfully say that this game is directly connected to Marble Hornets. Now, granted, because it was worked on by Troy Wagner and a few others who worked on Marble Hornets, there is most certainly a possibility that it is canonically connected. This is not impossible. Which makes it interesting, because you think about all these cases and how connected they may or may not be. Oh no, we're locked in. Don't worry about it. There's an office. Security office. And there's a big fat red button we can hit. Beep. And everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, those are good noises, huh? Another note, people often miss here. Right here in the trash. Jamal, it's been weeks. Get the maintenance department to fix the door alarm override immediately. We can't keep going to the basement to manually override it every time there's an incident. This has been happening non-stop, and we have neither the time nor the energy to go down into the basement on a regular basis. So this note is one of the reasons, and look, we've got... Oop, my bad. Bring the flashlight back out, please. Thank you. In an event of a patient outbreak, initiate security lockdown protocol. So... basically, so this note is telling us two things. First of all, the front door is not unlocked. Basically, because the alarm went off, that just turned the alarm off. But in order to actually open the building again, we need to go to the basement, as that note was talking about, to hit the system that can, shut down the protocol. But it also, it's interesting because, in this world that Charles is currently exploring, love ourselves a elevator crash. In the world that we're exploring, there's like a convenient note that happens to direct Charles Matheson to the basement. And it just makes me think, especially if you know what's going to be happening and like little things like this, it just gets you thinking, like, oh, how much of this is Slender and how much of it isn't? And don't worry, that's definitely not our breathing. Yeah, we got more toys in here. We love to see it. Don't worry, nothing bad will happen. I promise. Nothing bad will happen, don't worry. I promise. Oh, there he is. Look at him. Ugh, he's all bloody. By the way, you do not want to let him catch up to you, because I'm pretty sure you do have to start over. In all fairness, I've never actually let him. But he will not follow you beyond this point, so you're chilling. Especially because we get to see him again in 0.2 seconds. Oh, once again with the lighting, man. So damn cool. Look at this. Man, Blue Isle Studios devs, y'all really cooked. So this is, I love that moment because it once again symbolizes the idea that, like, oh, there was an exit, and he's really fighting to get to that exit, but the exit was an illusion. Just, for the Slender to turn around and find out that the Slender Man was behind it all. So really quickly, I'm just gonna say this right now. Through this door, I'm gonna cut out what we see on the other side of this door in the YouTube video. Because YouTube can often be finicky, understandably, with images of self-harm. And there is someone being hung right on the other side of this door. So I will continue through, but I will blur it out of YouTube. In fact, maybe I can go at it backwards. Okay, awesome. So yeah, don't worry about it. There was just, a person hanging right here, and YouTube can be pretty finicky about that, so I just didn't want to include it. Here we are, in a water-filled morgue. Ain't this for us, huh? And there's nothing to grab until we interact with that, and we got fake keys. This is one of the few moments I don't fully, I get that they're just messing with Charles, Slender is. Really just making it clear that, you're never gonna get out of here for, as long as I've got you under my tentacle grasp. Well, we continue on with gross breathing in the background. Rude, closing the door in my face. So this section is not terribly difficult, especially if you know what you're doing. But if any of you are familiar with the game Amnesia: The Dark Descent, there is a monster in that game, and the concept is very similar. There's a water monster here, and all you can see are its steps. See, you can hear that? Like that, there was something going on longer than I was walking. And if it runs into you, you don't die. You just get sent back here. Oh, there it is. There you go. Just as I said. So that was a good example. But we can just run on past it. There's no reason to stick around. Especially because we've got more stamina here. What we're looking for is the lockdown. I'm pretty sure this is the wrong way. You just want to follow the noise. And here it is. Boop. Yeah, the security override. And as far as I'm concerned, there's not anything to really collect down here. I have explored back here before, and I don't think there's anything to collect. Oh, that's a fun little Easter egg, though, if you explore all the way. Especially because we've got what looks like leaves and Charlie's bear back here. So, you know, this is one of those little things that you would miss. Like, there's nothing necessarily to read, but there's little things like that. And this is the other side of over there, so you can make it all the way around. But anyway, let's continue. There's nothing down there, so we continue up as we attempt to find our exit. Oh, this bodes so well. Yes, and this is where things get real serious for our boy Charles. So, no, you don't have a flashlight. Flashlight's dead. And we can't move. At least for a minute. There's our boy. A lot of people kind of just, like, sat here and waited. You can try to escape, and if you do, your exit gets blocked off, which is pretty cool. And, yeah, we just try to evade our boy. Run. And once you've either waited it out, or gone to every door, then that ends, and don't worry, we will not get our flashlight back. And we can continue on. But in my opinion, you know, of all the chapters in this game, this is definitely one of, if not the scariest, which I love. And here we are up on the roof, which is pretty cool. Hey, staff. Also, I think the breathing could be a bug. I don't think that's normally supposed to happen, but I could be wrong. Please refrain from smoking on the roof. Also, love this note. Our main fresh air intake is located on the roof, and guests have complained of smoke in the atrium. In addition, our legal department recently settled out of court with a plaintiff complaining a cigarette butt from the roof lit her wig on fire. Which is so unfortunately hilarious. Should there be any more issues, we will implement a 3-strike system for smoking on the roof. Regards, Emily Thompson. Emily Thompson cracking down the law. And there's nothing else to explore up here, but we do have a way out. So yeah, I'm 90% sure the breathing is a bug, but that's okay. It adds to the atmosphere. And if you recall, we actually saw this vent. And nothing back that way. We saw this vent when we came into this main area the first time, when we came from over there. We saw this hanging down. So yay, now we can escape. Oh, our boy. Our sweet baby boy. Not even exposing me for how wide I am. Oh, yes. Okay, in my opinion, this is one of the most brilliant moments, the most brilliant things the developers in this game have ever done. Like, it makes me so excited for the future chapters. Once again, I noticed quite a few, you know, I like to watch people playing this. You can, like, look away. People would never look away for some reason. They would just stare at him. He'll spawn everywhere you look, which is brilliant. And you can't move, but... Very, very cool. And here we are back at the beginning. This insinuates to me the idea that it's not necessarily a guarantee. This is just a theory on my part, a game theory. But because this is where this chapter will end in just a moment. End this. Purify. Is that perhaps the Slender Man has had our boy Charles going through this nightmare multiple times? There's no proof of that, but I like to think it could be the case. Purify. Save your son. Now this is definitely the Slender Man's work. Cleanse with fire. This is so cool. And so we'll kind of get a reveal here of how this connects to reality in just a moment. Cleanse with fire. Recognize the location. Recognize the shadow. Damn. So, they don't directly explain it, but that gives us kind of a full background of what was teased at in the newspapers, the notes, the missing posters. You know, Charlie went missing, obviously, and we saw exactly how that happened. And then we can presume, based off of the note that we found in the burnt house by Charles, that that Diane left him. And after Diane left him, he started going crazy. And either he attended a mental hospital, or it was all in his head. But one thing is for certain, whether he attended a mental institution or not, he 100%, the Slender Man had him by the balls, if you will, and put him through that whole ordeal, told him to cleanse with fire, purify, and the arson attack that was mentioned, that was suspected, was actually just done by Charles Matheson, which is pretty crazy, but it was just by him. So unfortunately, bro did take himself out, which we don't love, but it is what happened. But here we go, into the actual mines. That was the Coleman Mine facility that we came to before. We're back as Lauren. But so far in the game, we have played as Lauren, we have played as Charlie, we have played as Charles Matheson. And don't worry, that is not the end. There's still more to come. As we continue forward. What do we have here? I want to die multiple times. I wonder who could have written this. In fact, it's funny that I say that, because this genuinely could have been written by either Kate or CR. It was most likely written by Kate, but it could have been written by either of them. And here we are, about to start the next chapter. Before we do, though, there is a note in here on the wall. I want to make sure we don't miss it. Here it is. Note 11. Outside, I need to die before it catches me. I'm sorry for any part that is my fault. Everything is leaking out the back of my head. Hands have teeth. Please tell no one I loved them. It's back now. Hide. I think we can presume, based off of the handwriting, that this is CR. I made a comment about that earlier in the game. This should be CR. So CR is losing it. Hands have teeth. Just goes to show that when someone is under the influence of the Slender Man, all is not well, to say it so very simply. But these two tapes are our next two chapters. Let's read this first. Kate. I've been doing some digging and came across an old plot of land that belonged to the Matheson family a ways back. Charles was known to take his wife Diane and his son Charlie to the old homestead for family picnics. I never imagined what I would see there. I think Charlie may have seen something he was never meant to see. Enclosed is a recording of my findings and some documents I came across. We're dealing with something dark here, Kate, something I can't explain. And I think we can presume that this happened before they both started going like full batshit crazy. We can presume that this happened when they were still trying to figure things out and going to the doctors and X, Y, and Z. But this is probably this alludes. Oh well, we have it. So, well, we can't actually. So we're gonna do the Matheson family farm first, which I love. We're gonna watch it, but we're actually gonna play it. We're gonna play a CR, which I love. This chapter is probably the most important when it comes to lore in the game.
The date is September 19th. My name is CR, on site of the Matheson family farm, continuing my investigation in Charlie's disappearance. Let's see what we can turn up.
And so here bro is. We saw a picture of this, if you recall, of this farm in the burnt house. And here's CR. We can kind of get an idea of a little bit what he looks like. Bro's got short hair. Looks like he might have on sleeves that come up just to about here, rolled up. And where we want to go first is to the house over here. But yeah, this is the reason this chapter is so important to the lore of this game is because, everything before now, we're hearing about the Mathesons and Charlie and other things happening in the neighborhood or in the community. And even though we see how Charlie got taken, and before now we saw what and how Charles Matheson died, we don't know why. We don't know what triggered it. Like, why was Charlie taken? And it is this particular chapter that gives us insight on that. So we can explore this, and here's a note. Because this is where we're going to find some things that really go into the past. Rose, we're going into the cellar tonight for another game of hide and seek. Father won't return from his errand to Red Deer until the morning, and Norm says he found a lantern so he can take us there after dark if we all meet by the chapel after tonight's dinner. I know you hate the rancid smell of petrol down there, but it'll be fun, I promise. Maggie. P.S. Don't tell Patty, she'll tell on us. So from this, we glean that there's some kids that used to live here. We don't know exactly when. We'll figure that out later, but it's, the handwriting is pretty fancy on that note. And they said that there's a smell of petrol in the cellar. And so we will, that'll come in handy later. But into the barn we go. There's nothing else, there's nothing to actually get over there, so don't worry about that. And we have to lift this thing up because for some reason CR doesn't have the physical capability to just step over those boxes, but it's fine. We've got a Charlie drawing, which is particularly unfortunate. This goes to show that Charlie was probably making these drawings when they would visit the barn, which makes sense because the previous drawing, if you recall, when we saw Charlie for the very first time in the house, when we pulled up to the Matheson home, there was a drawing of this location, and now we're seeing the Slender Man and a bunch of children being burned in a home, which is not very fun, exciting, or pog money. But we simply have to come up here and interact with this, and that pulls it up. And thus we can continue. And now what we will learn as we attempt to move forward is that we need fuel for the generator so that we can explore in here. Reminder, all wheat and barley should be stored in a subterranean cellar for cold storage. We can be stored up to 9 months, pending moisture. Dry grain should be taken to the cellar immediately for winter storage. Cooling the grain ensures insects remain dormant and minimizes mold grow. It's interesting because this type of note doesn't really seem necessary, and to be honest, it's not really. But what I like about it is it shows the devs' attention to detail. You know what I mean? Especially because this right here is not a flashback. This is not a fake reality. This is actually CR exploring somewhere. And, it would be realistic to find a note like that in a place like this. And so here we are. And we can follow this path. And what we will find is a divergence in the path right up here. So yeah, the granary is where we just were. The chapel's over there. We can't get into the chapel right now. I'll just tell you right now it's locked. We need a key, and the key is back in that direction. We have to get through the mill in order to get to it. But the cellar, which is this way, will have the key that we're looking for, along with a little bit more lore. And so we love that for ourselves. And there's a second entrance actually right over there. You can see the top of it. And so you can enter either way. It doesn't really matter. We can't actually... This place is creepy, but you can't actually die in here. So that's really helpful. It may be creepy as hell, but you cannot die. So that's really nice. As creepy as it... Oh. Hello. Don't worry about it. Charge. Never mind. Not me fully saying you can't die. That's so funny. You can die. I'm a pro. What did I say? See, actually, you misheard. Actually, I said you can die, and you all should get yours checked. Now, luckily for us, we do just spawn right here, which is very helpful. So yeah, we don't want to run into our bro. I'm assuming it's going to spawn this same way, nothing's going to be in here. Yep. Hey, bro's not down here now. So there's two things we're looking for. One of them is here, so we've got some drawings here on the wall, and this kind of insinuates that note that we saw before about the kids. So they came down here to play hide and seek, and this right here, Granny Richter's Big Book of Stories. We can't actually read the Big Book of Stories, unfortunately, but we will get a reference to that. Hi, Charlie. We will get a reference to that later. But yeah, we just need the fuel now. And so once you have the gas, you can come on out and head back over. I will say, from this point forward, Charlie is in the field, so you want to be careful. And you can just beeline it this way. You don't have to stay on the path. You can just come straight back over here. Because the only way to get back over here is through this little shack. There we go. Already got that. Oh, we got it again because we died, but that's fine. So here we go into the very noisy area that is this. So there's a note there that we can get when we're over there, but we'll grab it now. Here is another drawing. This is a drawing of Charlie, Diane, and Charles. They're here having a picnic, as the note denounced. So there's nothing to get in here, but if you come in here, most people miss this. There's a little, just says only Slender. And in terms of who wrote this, it is certainly debatable. It could be Charles, like maybe he came back here and wrote this. It could have been someone that lived here in the past. But either way, fun little Easter egg. So we come back this way. We already grabbed that note. And so we want to come back here. Now back here is where we can find a key to the gate that will give us access to the chapel, which is where we want to go next. And the key can spawn in a few places here, but there's a little bit of lore here that we want to get. The key can be here at the treehouse. It is not. So it could be in here, but there's a really important piece of lore here, and it is this picture. Back row, Georgia Matheson, Franklin Matheson, James Matheson. Middle row, Ada Hayes, Henry Hayes, Elizabeth Matheson, Frida Matheson, Clarence Matheson. Bottom row, Maggie Matheson, Rose Matheson, Norman Hayes, Patricia Matheson, Walter Matheson. So, these are the kids that were talking in the previous notes. And, you know, it's good to know that this is a Matheson family. Notice anything back here? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Slender Man in the back. And so this single photo gives us insight on the fact that the Slender Man has, and this is an older photo, clearly, and we'll kind of figure out how old when we get to the church, the chapel. But, the Slender Man has been involved in this family for generations. For absolutely generations. So now let's check over here for that key. Okay, key's not here. It could be sitting over here. And if it's not sitting... Oh, wait, is that it? Nope. Over here? Yep, there it is. Gate key. Now, unfortunately, we do have to go all the way back around in order to get to the church, but that's fine. And all of a sudden, it's nighttime when we come back through the mill, so that's fun for us. That's something I love about this game, is like at the very beginning when we're going down the hill, it like immediately transitions from evening to night in no time at all. So we do want to be careful here. I'm going to save my stamina for a second, because Charlie will be a little more aggressive as we go through it this time. So we're just going to cut straight through and head towards the chapel, which is right over this way. You can see the gate. So he's running around in here somewhere, but we're just gonna... Oh, he's right behind me. Oh, no, he's over there somewhere. Yeah, we're big chilling. Anyway, here we go. We are nearing the end. So, this is all part of the Matheson property. And as you can see here, told you I was sick. First of all, that's hilarious. Let's see. Elizabeth Matheson. We've got 1868 to 1905. Maggie Matheson. And this is one of the kids, Maggie. 1890 to 1905. So keep in mind, this individual only lived 15 years. She was 15 years old when she died. She was a little older. Obviously, she was one of the adults. We've got Clarence, also one of the adults. 43 years old, or 45. We got Nancy, quite a bit older. We got James from 54 to 03. We got Norman Hayes, 94 to 05. Rose, 91 to 1905. So she was 14 years old when she died. Georgia, 1870 to 1900, so 30 years old. And Ada, 1872 to 05. And then we got some more here. Marshall, 17 to 72. Norman, 24 to 89. So these are going to be the older people. Margaret, 17 to 71. So 60 something, I think. I'm not good at math. Lawrence, 34 to 93. But these are the 1800s, right? So it's like Slender Man has been involved. Like all of these people are dead because of him, and we'll learn more about that in a minute. Also, I didn't point it out, but see straight ahead. I can't zoom in, but straight ahead. See the remains, like those building house remains? That is connected to these, and we will learn about that as we continue on. And Henry, 24 to 02. And don't worry, there's nothing to explore back there, unfortunately, as much as I wish there was. If we look back, bro pulled up on us. This is an important lore note by Frida, who we saw her grave out there. I seek only salvation for myself and my family from that demon sent to torment my life, demon being Slender. I brought the devil's wrath upon my family. I did this. I went searching for this demon. I brought him into our lives. I invoked his arrival. So just really quick, I want to stop right there, because this statement and this note is kind of the origination for the whole game. Like the whole reason any of this is happening is because of Frida Matheson. Frida Matheson is the originator of Slender's arrival. which is pretty cool. So for whatever reason, she went and summoned the Slender Man, or invoked him, as she put it. How could I have been so blind as to manifest such evil? Why could I not let old legends die? I alone should bear this burden. Why must my grandchildren suffer for my imprudence? They will never come home. Rip, literally. That, Arch-Fiend has them now. We all must bear this burden. We must all repent for our ignorance and rid this world of this demon for good. None ever shall confront this evil ever again. It dies with us. May the fire cleanse our souls and burn our sins. Frida Matheson. So that building over there, the burnt remains, that is where this family lived. And as Frida invoked the Slender Man, we can presume that it could have been because there were stories, right? And she wanted to know more. But we'll also learn a little bit more in just a little bit still in this chapter. But Frida is kind of the originator for everything. So, if we were to say, in the Slender the Arrival game, who's at fault? If we want to narrow it down to one person, it's Frida Matheson, an ancestor of Charles and Charlie Matheson, which would explain why the Slender Man has been coming for all of them. Now, what it doesn't properly explain is why Kate and CR specifically are involved. But we'll get to that. So notice that little opening. We will be using that in just a moment. We've got some toys we're here to steal because we hate kids. Wait, hold on. Took a child's toy, got a picture. Just want to get that real quick. There's bro, and we run this way. And bro's stupid as hell, so he goes around that way. And we make it this way. See you later. Bro, he banging. Huh. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This is the first time I'm noticing that specific grave, actually. Anyway. Here we go. I've played this game like 6 or 7 times on normal. And like I said, this is my second or third time playing it on hardcore. And you see something new every day. So I'm pretty sure that noise is supposed to indicate that bro is following us, but I don't see nothing. So here we are in the kitchen. And now we can make it upstairs. This upstairs portion has some of the heaviest lore in the entire game. So we're going to dive into it. I'm not going to be able to pronounce this. Oh, sorry. You can't see that. Let me move my... There you go. Verzweflung. I don't know how to pronounce that. Don't hate me. But there you go. What this is meant to be is a... and this connects to, like, OG Slender mythology, which is that the Slender Man originates from a German story. I believe this is German. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone happens to know better than I do, which I'm sure there are, those of you out there. But basically, there is a German folklore tale that back in the day, 1800s, early 1900s, that particularly parents and women would tell their children if they went out wandering in the woods. They would say, hey, this thing is going to kidnap you and kill you and eat you up if you stay wandering out in the woods for too long. And this is meant to be one of the origin sources for the Slender Man as depicted by Eric Knudsen in the Something Awful forms, which is really, really cool. So here we kind of see a depiction of that. I believe this is supposed to be the head here, and we've got a hand, another hand, leg, maybe like the beginnings of tentacles or something. But this is meant to be kind of like an ancient or much older depiction of the Slender Man here, which is pretty damn cool. And that gives us some lore. We've got a bed up here. We got more drawings. We can look out the window. Don't see anything of note. Here we go. We have another drawing here. This is an older one. Dearest Diary, Patricia still has yet to come home. Mother insists she ran off to search for wildflowers again, but I know that's not true. It was that man, that thing Grandmother keeps ranting on about. Grandmother, is Frida Matheson, by the way. I do not think she's mad. I have seen the man myself. He watches us as we play. Pat, he went to him. I just know it. If only Mother would listen. I wonder when she'll come home. Rose. So, yeah, this is Rose, who, like we determined, would have been like 14 or 15 years old, with really good handwriting. Love that for her. And this very disturbing drawing. And this kind of just goes to show some of these early encounters that the OG Mathesons, by nature of Frida's invocation of bringing on the Slender Man, brought him into their lives. Here we go. Father is making us pray again tonight. It'll do no good. It's bothersome, if anything. And I'd bet anything Patty and Walt ran away from this miserable old place. They didn't run away, I'm here to tell you right now, and I don't blame them one bit. No, they were kidnapped and killed. Grandmother and Rose insist on some batty take, that a strange man took them away. Am I the only one keeping their wits around here? Maybe I should run away too. Maggie, June 9th, 1905. So, 1905, if you recall, all of the dates were either this year or shortly after on those gravestones. So this is right when everything was happening, and this family was, taking a fat L. I believe this is the last one. Franziska. Dearest Frida, though my heart still pains for your missing children, I fear for your health, my sweet sister. So this is grandmother's sister. Great aunt, I guess you could say. You mustn't worry your mind with those twisted tales of our youth. So we get some more lore here. You know as well as I, they were merely tales to keep us all in good behavior. So this is exactly what I was talking about with the, image of what I think is a German monster. So a tale to keep us in good behavior, right? Don't wander off, come back for dinner, that type of thing. If only Mother knew, so their mother told them this, what those silly legends would do to you, though I have no recollection of the one you mention. Was it from one of Mother's books you took with you? So the book that we saw of the old stories in the cellar, this is the book that they're talking about. And I guess you could say that's really the origination point. That's how the Slender Man was summoned, how Frida, invocated the Slender Man, if you will, was through this book of stories. And the fact that we found it in the cellar goes to show that, the children took it, and that's part of why they got yoinked too, is because they were reading the stories. I wish I were with you now, in your time of need, rather than whittling my days away alone. I wish you well, an ocean away. May my thoughts and prayers reach you. Franziska. Yeah, so this gives us some really, really good lore about truly, a step back to the very beginning. It starts with that book. They had it. Summoned some Slender Man. There you go. It wasn't just a legend. It wasn't just a myth. Yeah. Now here we go. I'm pretty sure those are the only notes we can pick up here, so let's move on. Whoa! Time to run. We drop our camera. That's us running, and then that's Charlie chasing after us. But, so a couple things to mention, really, really quick, before we move on. The first is that we saw CR run, then we saw Charlie running after. But what I think is very odd about the idea of Charlie running after is they actually used Kate's model, Kate the Chaser, that was in the mining facility. They used her model when chasing. You can kind of tell by the feet as well, but in terms of who picked up the camera is a great question. Was it Kate? Maybe Kate was there. Maybe it really was Kate chasing CR there at the end, and Charlie picked up the camera. There's a couple different possibilities here, but here we get into the second to last chapter of the game. Technically third to last, but anyway. This is a very important one, just as the last one is. Here we have our girl Kate, in the midst of it, the thick of it. Girl was not doing good. He's here. Secure the house by closing all the windows and doors. So this is us getting something. I actually just got chills. I get chills kind of every time I get into this because it's creepy as hell. But this is Kate, you know, really going through it right now. This is, you know, the height of her problems. I love how you know, we just heard the front door bang, even though it was open, which I think is so funny. We'll go this way first. Okay, these doors are closed. These are closed. And then we just go around and make sure Bro's definitely outside. We're gonna turn that off because we can. You know, don't waste your time trying to hide anywhere random. The only place to hide is her room. So here we go. Boom. Remember seeing the window broken at the very beginning? If you recall that, I actually didn't point it out and I should have. But there was a broken window when we heard Kate scream in the distance when we first got into Kate's room as Lauren. And that's how the window broke. Slender literally just threw us out the window, which is kind of diabolical of him. But anyway, there you have that chapter. We are nearing the end. And here we go. So things, you know, at this point, Lauren, you know, like Lauren hasn't had any like notes or anything. She's kind of just figuring all of this out on her own. And, you know, she's clearly being tracked by the Slender Man as well. So I think what's important to start considering right here near the end is, you know, what the hell is going on with Lauren? You know, the protagonist that we're playing in this game. You know, at this point in the game, we've played as Lauren, the main character. We've played as CR, we've played as Kate, we've played as Charlie, we've played as Charles, and I believe that's it. But we've played as pretty much every main character, which I think is such a clever way to present this game. And here is one of, if not the last note. Well, there's one more after this. The house had to go. It can't save me anymore. So we can presume, once again by the handwriting, that this is CR. CR has burnt down his own house, just like Charles, and just like the Mathesons way back when. So yeah. Look at this beautiful view, though. Gorgeous place to be living. And here we continue on. So yeah, you know, we start thinking about, okay, you know, Lauren has been exploring all of this. What the hell is going on with her? The Slender Man is definitely tracking her. She had the whole experience with the pages, X, Y, and Z. You know, things are not going well for her. Our camera's starting to lose battery. And here we are. The historic Coleman Mines, 1895-1918. So this is, you know, interesting to actually recognize. 1895-1918. This is kind of right in the height of what happened to the Mathesons, the first Mathesons, right? This was happening in the very end of the 1800s and beginning of the 1900s is when crap started going down with them. So it was around that same time that the mine became a thing. In fact, one could argue that maybe they moved here because of the mine to get work. It is entirely possible. Here we are. Inside the mines once again, and this, I believe, is truly our last note. Meet me by the street in an hour. I left a list of things to bring with you. Leave everything else behind. I'll explain everything as soon as I see you. I know how to fix all of this. Don't tell Lauren about me. CR. So this is obviously for Kate, and I think what we have to ask ourselves is, you know, was Kate already, you know, had she already become a proxy by this point? Because at a certain point, she becomes a proxy. I'm of the opinion that at this point she is, but if any of you have seen Marble Hornets, which again helped inspire this game, even proxies, they kind of go in and out of their proxy-like state. And so I think it's absolutely the case that Kate was a proxy at this point, but CR is trying to save her. Now, the fact that CR is saying, "Don't tell Lauren about me," it insinuates a couple things, because we know that Lauren, who we're playing, is the main character and a good friend of Kate. This, to me, insinuates that CR does not think Lauren would trust him. That whatever CR is planning on doing, like, Kate may already know at this point, we already know at this point, that CR burnt down his own place. He's been seeing things, he found things at the Matheson family farm. If anything, because it was the tape that he had where we found all that lore, he learned, what happened to the Mathesons and why it happened. And there's a pattern happening, right? He already knew about Charles burning his house down. He had heard about that in the newspaper. They talked about it briefly. He learned about the old Mathesons burning down their house and trying to stop things that way. So he's seen two examples of people trying to use fire, and he burnt down his own house. So fire seems to be a theme here, and this tells me that CR doesn't want Lauren or us to know about it, because we would try and stop him in whatever it is he's planning on doing. And I can tell you right now that this note was not that long ago, as of when we're playing this. So they're just ahead of us. We don't know exactly how long they've been ahead of us, but they are just ahead of us. And as we descend further down, here we go. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. This isn't your fault. I did this. By the time you read this, it's already too late for you. Don't let him into any more lives. So this is CR. This was all my fault. This can end with you. I let him in. Why did I let him in? I'm so sorry for placing this burden on you. I wish it was all on me. This can't spread any further, please. It all has to end with you. I wish there was some other way it has to end. God forgive me. Now, based off of the handwriting, sorry, I said this was CR. This is actually most likely Kate who wrote this, because we've seen Kate write a couple other things throughout the game, and this is very reminiscent of her handwriting, especially after she became a proxy. So this just goes to show that, the reason this whole thing came back to Kate and CR is because when they were in the woods, which is, right by where Charlie and Charles lived, they saw Slender Man there. So we can presume that Slender Man was in the area because he was wreaking havoc on the Mathesons' lives, right? Because of what happened in their past. Kate, who was a neighbor, this is my presumption, and we learn a tiny bit more going forward, but Kate as a neighbor gets caught up in it. She lets him in when they were young, CR and Kate, and everything kind of spirals from there, and CR starts doing research, trying to figure out what's going on, and it all leads to this. You warn them and doom them. Read this and die. You're helping his arrival. End this. It can end it. Can end it. It can. And it's so simple. So this kind of, it is very similar ideology as what Charles Matheson was seeing in the bonus chapter, where it was end it all, purify, save your son, fire. So we can presume something similar is going on here. Read this and die, blah, blah, blah. Yep, same message. And we continue on into the final chapter. I've got it. I'm sorry. Stop it. His arrival is coming. End it here. It's so simple. I'm sorry. It's so simple. Stop it. Blah, 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 blah. End it all with fire. There's the confirmation. So there's this pattern of fire. It hasn't worked so far, so I'm not sure why they decided it would work again. It may not have been their decision. Kate and CR. We know that... Oh, Lord. Yeah, here we go. Crap is getting real. Ooh. So, as you can see, we're pulling up on what CR has done. And our goal now is to get to the tower, and our path is going to be blocked as we do. This is not going to be easy. We may die a time or two, just because the hardcore version of this is meant to be very aggressive. But, CR lit everything on fire, like he said he would. Yeah, there it is. We're close. Let's start to the left. Oh, yeah, you can hear Kate Or Charlie, whichever one it is. Here, let's go this way first. You kind of want to... Oh, never mind, we're not going that way. We probably won't be able to go this way. Yep. I think Slender just went in front of us. We can go this way now. Yes, we can. It'll probably still block off our way, but in order to get to the top, we kind of have to exhaust all of our routes. The nice thing is that, I think just due to the adrenaline, we don't have to stop running at this point in the game, which is really, really nice. Yeah, we can hear screeching. Definitely sounds like Kate. Okay, so we can make it up this way. Our battery is almost dead. Lauren has been documenting this entire thing. Let's go this way. Never mind. Oh, never mind. Thanks, bruv. He just wanted to say hi real quick. Never mind. We ain't gonna go that way. Let's continue to the left. But yeah, this is kind of, you know, bringing us to the climactic conclusion at the end of it all. Okay, we made it. Yeah, if you ever stop moving or kind of get lost in there, it's definitely easy to die in that ascent. But we made it. And our battery is almost dead. Oh look, we found keys. What are they for? This door. We're gonna just make sure we're not missing anything. I could have sworn there was a note in here, actually. Yes, there is. EPWS, the Emergency Public Warning System, is a protocol system whereby local authorities can warn the public about impending or current emergencies affecting our area. The EPWS can be activated by local police, fire, environment agencies, and local authorities as required. It can be activated for the following reasons: severe weather, flood, wildfire, hazardous material release, terrorist threat, water contamination, Amber Alert, other threats to life, property, and safety. For any further questions regarding EPWS rules and regulations, please contact your local Parks and Wildlife Agency. I would say right now, other threats to wildlife and wildfire is definitely a good reason for why we would be coming in here. But don't worry, we were not the first ones to think about coming in here. Yeah, look, this place is already on fire. Oh, and our flashlight is dead. You do want to run here, or you will die, actually. I mean, not necessarily, it's not guaranteed, but there's a good chance. I have died running in here before. There's a little jump scare for you. Stop, I'm sorry, why you are my only choice. You have to die here so I can go. You will burn with everything else. Everywhere, turn, it is there. Every time I open my eyes, I see a dark shadow. In my home, in my dreams, everywhere it eats at me. Rips and tears and breaks and slashes my insides, my brain, my nerves, my everything. I'm sorry. We got some notes on this side. Okay, same thing. I'm sorry, I must burn it down. Found me in the woods, found me in the dark. Found what else do I do? You cannot hide. He always finds you. He will find you. He always finds you and never stops. I'm sorry for everything. And this right here is our boy CR in the flesh. This is something I have to do, something I was told to do. Whispers from my only friend who is gone now. Everything must be burnt to the ground for me to be free. Yeah. So it looks like CR basically either took his own life or was pushed into this position by our Slender Boy. His rival's coming, blah, blah, blah. So this is kind of the last piece of lore here.
Kate, please. There's no other way. Kate! Oh God, no. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I'm so sorry.
And that, my friends, before we turn around, never mind. We're definitely not cooked. Yes, we are. Hey, bub. So, you know, this is truly the end. We got Charlie guarding the stairs. Wonder where we are. Anyway, before we continue on, let me just explain what effectively we just learned. So, right there at the end, we had CR, his burnt corpse. The note from earlier, when CR told Kate not to tell Lauren about him, it was because he was planning on basically killing both himself and Kate. And he explained that to Kate. He said, the only way we can end this is if we burn ourselves and everything down. The forest, everything. And so they met there to do that. That's kind of what the notes were leading to. But as the recording that CR had reveals, Kate was not on board at the end. She didn't want to die, which I don't blame her. She did not want to die. And so she left, but it was too late. CR had already started the fire, and he committed to the bit. It's not really a bit, but you get what I mean. And that was him dying there. And that's what started the wildfire. So when we heard those screeches, it definitely, Charlie was there, but one could also presume that maybe Kate was nearby, that she had left not long ago, running from this wildfire. So there's a couple things we can glean here. Got a question mark note. Kate from CR. This is pretty exciting, isn't it? This whole mystery, the missing boy, the sightings, the arson. See, he was aware of the arson. I'm glad I get to share this adventure with you. I can't help but feel saddened for Mr. Matheson. So this was after Mr. Matheson. He lost so much, did everything he did. I wish he would have just let me in to help him the way you're helping me. Maybe I could have saved him. Since I couldn't help him in life, maybe I can help him now. I promise to find out what happened to his son. Perhaps that will put his soul at peace. Thanks again, Kate. I look forward to our adventures. This message gives us a very important insight as to why this is kind of CR's fault. I mean, don't get me wrong, everything boils down to Frida, like I said, her in the book from way back when, for the Mathesons. But the way it connects to, this is canonically how it connects to CR and Kate and now Lauren. I think there is still definitely some truth to the idea that Kate got involved just by nature of being neighbors with the Matheson, but this is a more direct reason, which is the fact that CR directly went to Mr. Matheson to try and get help. In fact, I'm pretty sure, I could be missing a note, unless it's in here and we just haven't gotten it yet. I was pretty sure there was a note that was by Mr. Matheson, him talking about how this boy keeps coming up and, asking about what was going on and trying to help. And, that's what brought the Slender Man into CR and Kate's life. But anyway, let's wait for the light because I can't see a damn thing. Oh, never mind. There should be one more thing we can collect over here, I believe. Maybe it's this, actually. Yeah, okay, here it is. I thought maybe we had missed it. This guy keeps stopping by my house asking about my son. I keep telling him to go away. He's getting more and more desperate. I still see him. I keep looking for him. It can't be him, though. I know it can't, but it's too real. Everywhere I go, I hear his voice, but it sounds like he's suffering. Like it's not the son I knew. So he transitioned from talking about CR to now Charlie. Like he's not the son I knew. I can't escape this torment. This man. This thing. He taunts me. He eats at my mind. Am I doing this to myself? Was it my fault Charlie disappeared? Is this my trial or my punishment? I need to end it. I need to cleanse this place. So we can presume that Bro wrote this right before or right after that extra chapter that we did as Charles Matheson, but before he burned everything down, right? So, or before that happened. It doesn't really matter. Either way, this is the last thing he wrote before he ended it all. And here we go. And we learn here, by the way, so yeah, this is where Charles' body was found. This is kind of a GG. Also, a grid being back here is very sad, just want to say. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, this is the basement to the Matheson home. And here we are at the end. I'm just gonna say right now, that is, that's Kate. So we finally caught up to Kate after all this time. Lauren did. Only took 50 years to zoom in. Yeah, there she is. With her glowing out eyes. Definitely not a trap. Let's go. Now, oh, those are our feet, by the way. Getting dragged off screen by Kate in the Matheson family home. And there you go. There you have it. Slender the Arrival, the 10-year anniversary update. Let me first, based on the character Slender Man created by Eric Victor Surge Knudsen, they make that very, very clear. So really quick, I just want to make it clear what happened there at the end. So, we got dragged back here after we got yoinked by Charlie. And Charlie is one of Slender's proxies, as is Kate, right? So Charlie and Kate are both proxies in this game. If you don't know what a proxy is, by the way, I guess I didn't explain that. A proxy, there's technically a couple different ways to describe it, because proxies exist in the world of Marble Hornets, as they do in this game and in other depictions of the Slenderverse. But basically, they are individuals who have been completely captured mentally and sometimes physically too by the Slender Man, or in Marble Hornet's case, the Operator, and to do his bidding, right? And in this case, that's very much what happened. Charlie and Kate basically took Lauren out at the end once she had learned everything. And normally when playing this game, at the very end, that would have been the reveal that, oh my gosh, the one that was in the mines was Kate. You know, she had already lost her mind by that point in the game. When we were filling all the generators. But what this means going forward, and I say going forward for a very particular reason, okay? We see Lauren getting dragged away. So we can presume that Lauren either A, gets killed, or B, becomes a proxy as well. I think her dying is a stupid take. I don't like that. I think her becoming a proxy makes a lot more sense, in my opinion. And the reason this is exciting is because there is a new game coming out next year, 2026. That's the projected year for it to release. Also by Blue Isle Studios, called S Lost Chapters. It is meant to be, as far as I can tell from everything that I've read, a continuation of this story. Now, it might not be a direct continuation, because I anticipate there will probably be a different new character, but I could be wrong. But in some of the official art released for the game, we see Kate, the chaser, in one of the screenshots, along with new monsters, new locations. And so we don't know if Lauren's going to be the protagonist, but I love the idea of having a new protagonist, and Lauren turning out to be one of the proxies, one of the enemies in that game. I think that would be really, really cool. But we'll see what happens. We don't know a ton about S Lost Chapters. Maybe one of these days I'll make a video on it. I haven't seen any videos out there, people covering S Lost Chapters, because again, we don't know too much. But the Steam information page gives us some information, not too much, but a little bit. Now, with that out of the way. Oh, nice. Oh, we didn't catch on fire once. Fireproof. Hell yeah, let's go. So, you may think that we're done. We are not. We are not done. Chapter selection, you will notice what we just did the Arrival. There is Genesis. This is where everything ends. Okay? Are you ready? And some of you, especially by nature of the title of this chapter, may recognize what we're about to do. And this is one of my favorite things about this game. It should still be on hardcore difficulty. Some of you may recognize where we are. This is the original 8 pages, reimagined. And part of why I love that this is incorporated, it's not just meant to be a fun Easter egg. This is meant to clarify what happened, after CR found Kate in the woods in one of those notes. He found her in the woods, and this is a way to kind of make canon the 8 Pages game. So, it was often speculated, who are you playing as in Slender the 8 Pages? Well, this game tells us that it's Kate. That Kate is who we play as in the 8 Pages. Now, this is hardcore. Hardcore is obviously a little more difficult. I'm not going to pick up this page. If you want to know the best way to do this in hardcore, what you want to do is not pick this up. You want to come over here and see if there's anything on it. Then what you want to do is you want to come over this way to the rocks and see if there's anything on them. So we know that there's something on the silo. Is there anything on the rocks? Sometimes this one can be difficult to see. So we don't want to get stuck here, especially because you kind of have to run around it. Because Slender will not spawn. There is one. Okay, good to know. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to come straight back over here, and we're going to check these. So we're not going to check literally everything that's annoying, but we are going to check these first few. It looks like there is a page here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start inside the building. Why? Because especially on hardcore, oh look, you can see the tower in the distance over there. So wherever this is by the tower, which is pretty cool. Another clever way to do that. But we want to start in the building because coming into the building later is a death sentence, particularly on hardcore. So what we're going to do is look for a page in the building first. If there is one, great. We'll grab it and then go towards the big gas pumps or whatever the hell they are, canisters, whatever. And then to the silo, and then to the rocks. And then after that, you just make your way around in a circle. Okay, no page in here, because it will never be on the outside. That is very helpful. So we start here, and then we go off that way for the silo. And you don't want to run too much. You do have a stamina limit in this. So you want to run straight back this way. There's the rocks. Actually, I mean, we could go the other direction, but I like doing the silo first. And it just makes more sense in my opinion. You see, bro's already pulling up, and we only have one. I don't even know where he is. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even see him. All I know is we've got a page here. So we just follow this over to the rocks. We know where the page is. It's right here on the front. And then we go all the way back over there. Oh, here it is. Okay, just keep running. I don't see him. But we should be good. Bro, chill. He's over there. Okay, he moved. We're going to do this, and then right after this, we're going to do the wood planks, which are over there to the left. So let's walk for a sec, so that we can run around this, rather than just walk around it. Yep, we've got a page. We're going to run. Wood planks are right over here. Yep, here they are, and there's a page. Thank goodness. We're going to... Ooh, heavens. We're going to wait. We're actually going to go ahead and put him out of view. Stand here for a sec. Run. There's nothing back that way. So tunnels next, and then we got some vehicles and crates. Let's walk for a sec. Check to see if it's on the outside here. Doesn't appear that it is. There it is. You don't want to turn around here. You want to grab it and then keep going. But we don't want to go that way. We want to go this way. We want to stay on the trail. Continue going around. You don't want to get off trail, if that makes sense. Getting turned around is a great way to get lost. And then we come back this way. Make sure we don't miss anything. Yep, here's the truck. Yep, there's one right there. Okay, let's walk for a sec before we grab it, because he'll get really, really aggressive. Okay, we're going to need to go around a little bit. Now, you can walk for just a second. You don't want to walk for too long on hardcore, otherwise you will die. Usually if there's a page, it is on this truck on the very front. It's not, which means it's on the tree. So follow this. Here's the tree, and this should be the last one. Right on the front. There it is. there's the tree. Look, fog rolls in. I have plans for you, Kate. And that's how you do it. That is how you do it. It is. So there's Genesis. And that's a good strategy to keep in mind when you are wanting to do that on hardcore mode, because it definitely can be difficult if you don't know kind of the route to take. But yeah, generally speaking, you want to check the silo, check the rocks, check the big gas tank things, and then check the building. And don't actually get anything. If there's one in the building, grab it, then just go back. Go back to the gas, then the silo, and then go around the circle towards the rocks, and just continue that way. And you should be good, as long as you don't run into them. But with that being said, everyone, we're done, basically. You know, we're done. That's it. Or is it? You really thought we were done, huh? No. As it just so happens, there is one more thing featured in this game. One more secret level. It is called Hunted. And I didn't actually know about this secret level the first couple times I played this game. It had eluded me, and then I learned about it later and discovered some really fun things. So, you can kind of just skip right on past and head straight towards the house. I don't want to spoil what happens, but what I do know is that this mode of the game is meant to kind of represent the fact that the Slender Man, you know, exists beyond this game. Kind of meant to break the fourth wall a little bit. But we're going to come straight down to the house. No need to waste any time. And in order to activate this secret level, there's a few criteria that need to be met. Some things that you need to do. First of all, you don't want to grab that poster yet. That'll be the last thing we do. That'll be what activates the level. What you want to do is come in towards the house. First, you will notice a swing set. You want to walk up to the swing set. I remember playing on the swing set with Kate when we were kids. And then there's a specific order of actions you need to take. You need to come into the house, and first we are going to play the piano. Okay? And we're going to play it until we get the specific notes in which Kate says, "That sounds familiar." That's the next thing. The flashlight's here, we're not going to take it. The next thing we're going to do is come in here and turn the radio on. Now that the radio's on, we're going to go back here and we're going to grab the flashlight. Now, we should be good to access the secret level. All you need to do is come on out. If it doesn't work, the game could be glitched, but that should be the exact order in which we make this happen. Here we go. Now, one thing of note to keep in mind about this. We just activated it. This was intentional. And you'll notice, first of all, how cool is this? Hello, shameflicity.yt. So this is kind of breaking the fourth wall, right? This is now Slender talking to us. There's also no game music for whatever reason. You'll notice that I had the option to grab the poster. Don't do that. If you grab it, it will not activate the secret level. You need to just walk up to it. So that's important. So, but if you know, you walk up to it, there's a glitch, and then you're here, that's how you know you've done it. You just want to start the game. And here we go. I'm lost. Can you find me? Okay. In my opinion, this is without question the creepiest part of this game. If you know about it, as you can see, we've just got distorted assets on screen, and they kind of appear as you get closer, which is really cool. And we want to, you know, look for Slender Man. He said he's lost. He needs help. Bro, it's like it's raining or something. Let's find him. Are you taking? Oh, he did not want us to eavesdrop on him taking a fat shit. I want to see you taking a fat shit. Damn, he's done. Where are you at, Slender? I'm coming to find you. Oh. Can we still play the piano? Aw, rip. It's so green. Also, okay, by the way, this painting was in the secret level, by the way. Not secret, excuse me. The extended level of the game. When we played as Charles, that was in there. Oh, now he wants us to take a shit. Okay, say less, brother. Okay, leave me alone. Let me do my business. Give me a minute. So yeah, this is not meant to be connected to any of the characters in the game. This is meant to be like you, as the player, experiencing this. Oh, how very rude. What if we just leave? Oh, never mind. I guess he doesn't want us to leave. This door needs a key. Okay, I would like a key. Whoa, look at everything getting all, like, wide. This is like the first iteration of the game. This is so cool. Everything is super wide. Are you taking a shit in here? No. Where are you at, Slender? Bro, did I glitch the game? I may have glitched the game, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think you're supposed to sit here for this long. I'm like 90% certain you're supposed to, like, at this point we're supposed to get yoinked. This is starting to hurt my head, I'm not gonna lie. Just try leaving. Oh damn. We can go pretty far. How far will it let us go? I've never gone this far before. Oh wait, are we gonna hit? Oh wait, there he is. You see him? Over there? Hold on, how far can we go? In fact, if we can go far enough, we might get a specific message that I was gonna just talk about. Whoa, look at this. I don't think you're supposed to be able to do this, actually. I'm gonna be so real. I think we may have bugged out the game. But we're gonna... Look at that. You can, like, see the exterior of the map. This is crazy. But here's the path. See you later. How far does it go? Just to here? How far can we go? Whoa. I think I can see Slender there. Unless that's just another fence. Oh, did we do it? We're falling. Hold on. Not even a bug in this game will save you from me. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't actually expect us to get that. So what I had planned on doing was finish the secret level and then just explain that that was a thing, that if you run into a bug in this game, that's what they had programmed, which is genius. But that was crazy to run into it there. Let's hit retry. Hopefully we can get the actual normal ending of that secret level. Okay, hopefully we can. Oh, swings are moving. Yeah, let's try this again. Hopefully we don't bug it. Oh. I think we just gotta run around to be so real. Oh. Bro's wildin'. Oh, okay, I think we're doing it. Well, I want to go up there. Oh. Oh! Okay, this is what we wanted. This is what we wanted, though. I like you. I want to play a game. I'm glad you like me. Thanks, babes. So once again, we're going to start the game. I will find you instead. Even though that's what happened before, but it's fine. I don't really want him to find us, I'll be so real. I'll be so real, we don't... Oh, can't go that way. We don't really need our flashlight on, but I guess we'll turn it on. Because why the hell not? Whoa, I heard Kate. Is Kate here? I'm not gonna lie, I can't even remember. She might be, but if she is, I haven't. That's a horrible noise. Yeah, absolutely horrible noises. Charlie and Kate making noises. Don't come in here. I'm taking a poop. I guess he didn't like that. I found you. Yeah, you found me because I told you where I was. You fat lard. Okay, here we go. Oh. Well, there you have it. Typically, you are dead. Typically, in the secret ending, you can see him walking towards you from like a couple different directions, or at least one or two. He was just kind of right on top of us. That could just be by nature of how it spawned. But in the secret level, Haunted, that's actually one of the best examples of being able to see him move his legs and actually walk towards you. But we're not quite done yet, as you can see. Maybe that's in the last part. I could be misremembering. Okay, yeah, here we go. Or is that it? I can't remember if we need to do this multiple times or just close the game. Because we're technically dead. Let's do it one more time. And then we'll try exiting. Oh, okay, yes. Please end this. So I think this is where we end the secret level. This is meant to be kind of our, you know what I mean? Very clever level design, I have to say. And there you go. That's it. That's the end of the secret level. And this is where you can access the Charles Matheson level in Extended. And this is where you can access everything else. And with that, that truly is the end of this game. Every note, everything there is to find. As I mentioned at the very beginning, this is everything you heard throughout this Let's Play is my interpretation of the lore. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you have any ideas, any contributions, anything you disagree with me on, let me know in the comments below. As I mentioned, this is my 100th video on YouTube, which is a big milestone for me, and I knew that I wanted to cover Slender the Arrival at least one last time on my channel, and I felt that my 100th video on YouTube was a perfect way to do that. Stick around to the very end. I created a YouTube outro, which I haven't used up until now. This will be my first video to showcase that. It's nothing crazy, but I made it myself, so it's fun. And yeah, please, I never ask anyone to do this if you watch any of my other videos, but like, comment, and subscribe. It really would mean so much to me, especially on a video that is as important as this one, covering a game that is so important to me and so important to so many others. Last comment. If you have any theories, ideas, comments about the new game S Lost Chapters, which will be coming out in 2026 by Blue Isle Studios, the company that made this game, it is meant to be a continuation of the story. We don't know how direct yet, but we do know that Kate the Chaser is featured in one of the screenshots. And let me know if you'd like me to make a video covering what we do and don't know about S Lost Chapters so far, and maybe some predictions or anything of that nature. I think that could be fun. So let me know what you think of that. But with all of that being said, everybody, with all of that being said, I truthfully cannot thank you enough for sticking through this video if you watched it to the end. And if you didn't, that's okay. If you watched any of it, I am so grateful. Please share this video with those that you know. So, thank you so much for watching. As always, have courage and be kind. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out.